Thor Ragnarok is the third standalone Thor movie and the 17th film in the MCU. I still can't believe how long this franchise has been going for. Now, you all know me by now. I'm a big Marvel fan. I love this franchise. I really love the Thor movies. First one I thought was amazing. Second one, I didn't think was as good, but I still really enjoyed it. So as a result, Thor Ragnarok was easily one of my most anticipated movies of this year. And you've all seen this by now, right? Sweet, so let's talk about it. So right out the gate, I knew that Thor Ragnarok was going to be a totally different movie than the other two. Because you see Thor in this cage, and then he just swings down into this fiery lair where you see this big flaming demon. The demon's name is Surtur, and he's telling Thor that Ragnarok is coming, and it's gonna be what's gonna destroy Asgard. And the whole time, as you know, he's giving this whole evil speech to Thor. You know, he's hanging from this chain, and you know, it's spinning around, and he's like, hang on, wait. I'm coming back around. Still coming. Alright, continue. It was a moment that definitely made me laugh, definitely added a comedic tone to it, and for a while, you can tell right out the gate that, yeah, this is gonna be a funny movie. And of course, eventually Thor breaks free with the help of Mjolnir, and then he just starts laying waste to Surtur and Surtur's army, and then eventually he begins to think, alright, I defeated Surtur. He's not gonna reunite with the eternal flame that's gonna give him the power to destroy Asgard. I have stopped Ragnarok. Go me. And then soon enough, Thor makes his way back to Asgard, where he sees Odin watching this play of how Loki heroically sacrificed himself to help Thor, as we saw in Thor the Dark World. And immediately, of course, Thor's just seeing the way Odin is acting, the way he's behaving. He's just like, nah, this... Sums up, this isn't Odin, this isn't my father. So of course, he takes this opportunity to pull Odin aside, he throws Mjolnir, has Mjolnir coming back to him, and he's like, yeah, that thing's gonna come back to me, and it's gonna go right through you. Show yourself, brother. And of course, Loki, not wanting to have his head splatter, he just turns back into himself, and now everyone sees that Loki has been posing as Odin, and now no one knows where Odin is. So with that, Thor is able to force Loki to tell him where Odin is. They end up going back to New York City, where Loki tells Thor, it's like, I left him here, like he shouldn't have left. And then after that, the two of them fall through some portals and wind up running into Doctor Strange. Now, one of the areas that I was interested in was seeing the kind of role that Doctor Strange was going to play in this movie, because the post-credit scene in Doctor Strange, one of them anyway, involved Doctor Strange talking to Thor. And really here, this is the one scene where we see Doctor Strange in this whole movie. So he doesn't do a lot in the movie, but I will say, for the scene he was in, I did enjoy it. You know, I like seeing him use his mind tricks and his powers and his magic to really, you know, play these games with Thor and with Loki. There's that one moment Loki finally falls through the portal and he's like, I have been falling for 30 minutes. I found it really funny and ironic to see the God of Mischief being the one being messed with. So after that, Stephen Strange, he teleports the two of them to Norway, where they meet Odin, where Odin reveals that he is unfortunately now dying, and because he is now dying, is allowing Thor's older biological sister Hela to be released from this dimension where Odin had imprisoned her. I will say, in this moment right here, this wasn't something that I was too crazy about. You know, they finally find Odin, which I thought was going to be a big focal point of this movie, and once they find him, he tells them, it's like, hey, guess what, guys? I'm dying. Oh yeah, and guess what, Thor, you have an older sister who's evil and nearly destroyed the realms, and guess what, now she's gonna come back. I'm just like, oh, alright, I guess we're going right into this now. And then sure enough, Hela shows up, played by Cate Blanchett. Cate Blanchett looked like a fucking dime in this movie too. I gotta say that right now. I'm convinced that woman doesn't age. But what I do like seeing right out the gate is just how powerful she is. Because of course, Thor, he tries to take her on. He throws Mjolnir at her. She stops it with her bare hand, and she crushes it into nothing. Which now has Thor freaked out. It has Loki freaked out. They're just like, I don't know how the fuck we're gonna beat this girl. She literally just took Thor's hammer, which shouldn't be able to be wielded by anyone but Thor, stopped it in midair, and she destroyed it with her hand. And now at this point, she uses the Bifrost Bridge to get her way back into Asgard, where Thor and Loki follow her, but unfortunately, she's able to kick them out of the Bifrost, and they're just falling out of space into who knows what. Of course, Hela makes her way to the Bifrost, where she makes quick work of Thor's friends and Asgard's army, and she's like, alright, perfect. Now Asgard is dead. I'll get back to her in a minute, though. I'm going to talk about what happened to Loki and Thor. Thor and Loki have crash landed on this planet Sakaar that's ruled by the Grand Master, who's played by Jeff Goldblum. I really did like Jeff Goldblum in this movie. This dude, he's one of my favorite actors. And no, it's not just because it was Jurassic Park. Seriously. I just think he's a really good actor. it just felt like the perfect Jeff Goldblum kind of role. You know, the guy is weird, he's quirky, he's humorous. I just love that Marvel does this. They're just like, alright, we have this character that's designed for this actor, so cast this actor or we're not going to use this character. I don't know if that's necessarily how they function, but I'm sure that's what they're thinking. They're just like, this person has to play this role, and that's why all these actors who play the various heroes and villains in this franchise really bring them out, for the most part. Unfortunately, it appears because Loki fell out of the bridge earlier than Thor, he was there longer than Thor, so he's gained favor with the Grand Master, and now the Grand Master is prepared to use Thor to participate in this gladiator kind of tournament where he's going to take on the Grand Master's champion. So, you know, Thor's all prepped up to get ready for this contest of champions. He's giving a ridiculous haircut by Stan Lee. He goes into the Coliseum. He's braced himself for whatever monstrosity is about to come out the gate. And yeah, you all saw the trailer. You know who it is, but I'm going to talk about it anyway. The fucking Hulk busts through, and Thor is just so happy. Best part, though, is seeing the reaction, of course, the Grand Master who's thinking, wait, why the fuck is he acting this way? And then seeing the look on Loki's face, it's just sheer fear. Because, yeah, he remembers what happened to him in the Avengers. He's like, oh, God, I should get out of here. And, of course, Thor's trying to reason with Banner, trying to remind him who he is. But, of course, you know, the two have to throw down because the Hulk is still the raging, angry Hulk. I do love seeing at one point, you know, Thor's trying to calm Hulk down with how Black Widow would, you know, using the Hulk's like, hey, the sun's getting low, something like that. And he's, you know, it looks like he's going to calm the Hulk down. And out of nowhere, Hulk grabs Thor and he ragdolls him the same way he ragdolled Loki in the Avengers. And, of course, Loki has to take this moment to be like, yes, now you know how it feels. But, of course, because Thor is the badass god of thunder, he's able to survive the fight. And, you know, he's able to reunite with Hulk later on. And I will say, this was one area of the movie that I really liked, is in this movie, we see a lot more of the Hulk than we're usually used to seeing. You know, a lot of the times, it's usually Bruce Banner. And, you know, I'm totally fine with that. I love Mark Ruffalo's portrayal of Bruce Banner. But I really wanted to see more of the Hulk just, you know, be the Hulk, you know, say what the Hulk would say, act like the Hulk would act. And in this movie, you see that, you know, at one point, you know, Thor goes to meet with Hulk, tries to talk to him about how he got there, you know, explains to him that, you know, Asgard is in danger, I need you to come help me. And Hulk's just talking all like, oh, Thor not Hulk friend, Hulk beat Thor down, Hulk like big fire, Thor like small little fire. Hearing the Hulk talk and just act the way he acts again, it brings a lot of humor into this movie. Another character that I really liked in this movie was Valkyrie. She's this bounty hunter that works for the Grandmaster. At this point, Thor's able to learn a little bit more about Valkyrie. It turns out she was part of this race of legendary female warriors that fought for Asgard, and they were all wiped out by Hela except for her. And ultimately, Thor explains to her, it's like, yeah, now Hela's gonna destroy Asgard. This is your chance. Come with me. Come with Hulk. Let's go stop her. So Thor and Hulk, they try to use the Quinjet that Hulk used at the end of Age of Ultron to get off the planet, but unfortunately it doesn't work. But it is in this moment where Hulk finally turns back into Bruce Banner. And again, it's here. I love seeing Mark Ruffalo's portrayal of Bruce Banner because he shows the nervousness and the fear of turning back into the Hulk. He's like, dude, I was the Hulk for 2 years. I wasn't Bruce Banner at any point. What if the next time I turn into the Hulk, I don't come back? I love seeing that conflict, kind of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde that Bruce Banner is constantly going through. It just adds so much to this movie. So then between the three of them, they're able to free Loki from his own imprisonment, and now the four of them are just off to go to Asgard, finally. Actually, no, that's not true. It's Thor, Valkyrie, and Hulk. They go off to stop Hela because Loki was just gonna turn in Thor to collect the bounty. But it's okay, Loki survives too after Thor, Valkyrie, and the Hulk freed all the gladiators in the contest of champions to start a revolution against the Grandmaster. They find him, they're like, oh hey, we're gonna go start a revolution. You wanna come with us? So now we finally get back to Asgard. We see Hela has used her powers to resurrect her army, which is now just laying waste to everyone. And it's here we discover what is the truth behind Asgard. You know, it turns out that Odin and Hela, you see it in these paintings and the monuments that were apparently hidden away. They had conquered the 9 realms together, and Hela wanted to keep conquering all these realms, keep enslaving people. And Odin saw that in her, and he's like, no, we can't do that. That's not right. It's wrong. and eventually it resulted in him imprisoning her. Now she's back, she wants to finish what they started, but to do that she needs to get the sword that controls the Bifrost Bridge, because now that has gone missing. And soon we discover that Heimdall indeed went in, he took it back, and now he's been going into hiding. He's trying to rescue as many of the Asgardian citizens as he can. He's trying to protect them. So now the heroes have shown up to do battle with Hela. Valkyrie takes on her army. In the meantime, Bruce Banner knows that he has to turn into the Hulk if he's going to do it. So to do that, he literally jumps out of the ship and just lands on a bridge. I'm pretty sure he's dead. But nope, I guess he isn't dead, because immediately after that, he just turns back into the Hulk. It's really beginning to make me wonder. It's like, can Bruce Banner only die if the Hulk is killed? Because I just remember that moment in the Avengers when he said he tried to put a bullet in his mouth and the Hulk just spit it out, so he can't really kill himself. I don't know. I think that's an interesting theory. So anyways, now that Bruce Banner is the Hulk again, he's doing battle with Hela's really giant evil dog. And then of course we have Thor, who's doing battle with Hela, and he's kind of getting his balls kicked in. So much to the point that he ends up losing one of his eyes, and it's in this moment he has a vision of Odin. And I love this moment because you see Thor talking with Odin, his father, and his father is just continuing to guide him. And Thor's trying to tell Odin, it's like, the hammer is gone. I don't have my powers anymore. There's no way I can beat Hela. And I love Odin at this moment says, are you Thor, god of hammers? No. You are Thor, the god of thunder. The hammer was merely meant to help you control your powers. You don't need that. You have the power in you. And he also in this moment tells Thor that the only thing powerful enough to defeat Hela is Ragnarok. Surtur, that evil demon, he has to be reunited with that evil flame. He has to be brought to life. He has to kill Hela. And to do that, it will result in Asgard being destroyed. So at this point, Loki goes into Asgard's treasure room. He takes the horns of Surtur and he unites it with the eternal flame to bring him to life. But before he leaves, though, he notices the Tesseract and he's thinking to himself, We don't see him take it, though, but we all know he did, because he's Loki. But now at this point that Thor has, gotten that oomph back in him from talking to Odin, you see him just straight up go off with his powers. He's able to finally put up against Hela because of this now, which is good, because throughout this movie, she was straight up owning him. So with that Surtur, the demon, he's finally awoken again. He's throwing down with Hela. But it's at this point Thor knows that Asgard's going to be destroyed, and everyone left on it is going to die. So he gets everyone on Asgard. He gets them all onto the ship that they stole from the Grand Master. And then the movie ends with Surtur seemingly killing Ella and Asgard just being completely destroyed. And with that, Thor makes a call. It's like, you know what? It's time to make our way to Earth. That's our best bet in rebuilding Asgard. And of course, we get a couple mid-credit scenes, but the one I want to talk about is the mid-credit scene. You see Thor and all the Asgardians making their way towards Earth, but on the way, they run into this giant spaceship that just shows up in front of them. And that's all there is. You don't see who's in the spaceship, nobody comes out, nothing else happens. There's just a giant ship in front of them. Part of me thinks it's something that has to do with Thanos that's gonna be a part of Infinity War. Who knows? That could very well be one of the scenes in Infinity War, similar to how the mid-credit scene in Doctor Strange was a scene in this movie. It's what I'm thinking. So all in all, I thought Thor Ragnarok was a great movie. Thor kicks ass in this movie like he does in every movie he's in. I love that this movie showed that Mjolnir is not the source of Thor's power. Thor is the source of his own powers. I just love seeing those moments where he's able to just straight up control lightning all by himself. I can't wait to see him do more of that. Loki was great in this movie. He provided more of the humor and mischief that we're used to seeing with him. Valkyrie was a great new character. I want to see more of her. Grandmaster was great in this movie. I don't know if we're going to see more of him, but I did really like him in this movie. I think that this movie showed more of Hulk than with Bruce Banner. I thought Thor and the Hulk had really good chemistry together. I like that this movie explored more of the Nine Realms with Sakaar. I like that this movie explored more of the past that was with Asgard. I did like Cate Blanchett as Hela. I don't know if she's going to be one of the most memorable villains ever, but she was definitely one of the very interesting ones. The action in this movie kicks ass. The movie is a lot funnier than I thought it was going to be. There were definitely a lot of moments that had me laughing quite a bit. I will say it's not quite as up there as other movies in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, like the Guardians of the Galaxy films when it comes to comedy in this franchise, but it definitely had its moments. But I will also say there are definitely some comedic moments that didn't really hit me as hard as I would like them to. I will say there are also some moments with storytelling that they kind of just jump right into one thing, then jump right into another thing that didn't flow as nice as I wanted it to. A lot of people have said that this is by far and away the best Thor movie, and I can see their point, but I don't know if I can put it quite up there for me. For me, the first Thor was just really awesome. It was such a surprise. I loved the story. I don't think I can put this movie above the first Thor, but I will say it's better than Thor the Dark World. In the end, this was a movie that I had a lot of fun with, and I cannot wait to see what else is in store for Thor going forward in the MCU. Still trying to figure out where the hell the Soul Stone is, seriously though. That'll get answered at some point. So that's all I gotta say, guys. Thank you so much for watching my video. Don't forget to leave a comment, like, subscribe, and I will see you all next time.